podcasting. It's one of those frontiers. These are the voyages of the nerds here to talk about Star Trek's newest series, Strange New Worlds. Plus, we have another issue of Halo Watch. Thankfully, that's almost over. But that does bring to question, are video game movies and TV shows any good? Or are there any good ones out there? Stay tuned and find out. Let's go ahead and start that show.
From 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown Whittier. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 98. My name is Bryan.
Rene.
Nick.
And welcome to the show, everyone.
We're still not.
Dude, my brain shorted.
You're lucky I ran with it.
My brain shorted.
That was
I don't know what happened.
Is it that seat that's throwing you off?
I don't know, but I literally as soon as you said my name is Bryan, I went, what's my name? And then I went, Rene?
Rene. And I was like,
because I saw Rene in the
Nick.
You went, Nick?
I'm going to cut that portion.
yeah.
And then give it to Mandy to post on TikTok because your facial expressions were perfect.
I didn't see him, so I'm glad.
So his facial
I
expression was
that.
like this. It was just like,
it was a crisis
Rene.
of identity at the moment.
And then yours is just like, Nick? What a way to start the show.
Yes.
Jesus, man.
Last week we
back.
talked about Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
And then we're back.
We're finally
Back at a normal recording time.
Yes.
On Friday.
It's not 4 a.m.
Oh my God. Let's not do that again.
Dude, I had to go. I thought we'd finish earlier. No. From here, I went straight to work.
I don't know why you keep thinking that we do that. That's going to happen.
I don't know.
That's never going to happen.
It isn't.
And that was only from doing 2 shows. I think that time before we had to do like a video.
2 shows, a video, and also a TikTok.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we were busy that day.
Yeah.
But that one killed me, dude. I think it was up over 24 hours. So that was an adventure. I started seeing colors again.
That's fun.
Oversaturated colors.
I got home at 5 and I was like, all right, well, I have to wake up roughly at least 10. So I was like, but then me and Maddie didn't go to sleep right away. We were sitting there and then I was like, okay, I gotta sleep. It's 6 a.m. And I'm just like, all right, make sure my alarm's extra loud just in case. And I did wake up in time to go to work.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
What'd you do? I slept.
I call that a work.
Oh, that's right. You had to work the next day.
I had to work the next day, and then I had to wake up at 10.
Yeah.
And I woke up at like 9:45, and then I went, I'm working from home. And then I texted my boss, and my boss is like, cool. And I'm like, cool. I fell asleep for like maybe like 20 more minutes, and then I was like, but
I might as well get up.
I have to start. I have to do some work, but at least I got an extra 20.
I was talking to Adam on the ride home. Because he was nice enough to give us a ride home, and he was telling us he was supposed to tell us a story at his experience at AMC, and he told me it was super annoying but funny at the same time.
Okay.
What happened to him?
Tell us that story, and then we'll jump into announcements because we got a packed show today.
So he told me basically when he went over there, he was nice enough to offer that he was going to try and get the popcorn bucket for us. And so
what happened with that?
They sold out. They sold out that morning, though. That's the thing.
I told him to go after someone that had them and just, steal it.
just bug them.
Yeah.
So he was in line and waiting for a concession stand, I think. But then he was asking like an employee that was like on the side. And he's like, "Hey, do you guys have any more of the popcorn bucket?" He goes, "We might, but we don't." And he's like, "Okay."
What does that mean?
So then like, "Okay, well, do you guys have any more of those pretzel nuggets?" He goes, "Yeah, but we don't. No." And like the whole he was doing that. Yeah, he was doing that the whole time to Adam. Like every question he was going, he's like, "We might, but no." And he's like, and Adam was getting so infuriated. And if you guys know Adam, we all know Adam. Like we don't
He's
ever
super
think of
calm.
him. Yeah, we don't ever think of him as going off the rails like potentially Bryan can. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your problem. And
We help you bury one hooker in a ditch, and that's what you're typecast as. I'm sorry.
So then, but he wanted to just just go over the rail and just like choke the guy out. He told me and stuff, but it was super funny. But then I get why he would be so. I don't know what was up with that employee of like he just felt like I'm just gonna F with people today, like
we might.
You know what? Honestly,
did you have a bad day?
Maybe they were probably dude. Honestly, they were probably busy like all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like in all fairness,
I get that, but as someone
also,
who's used to working at, or he used to work at Disney, every day, especially like those holidays are terrible.
Yeah, but
you
AMC
still gotta get.
Yeah, but
you gotta show the
magic.
magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
AMC doesn't care as much.
That's true.
I will say this: I went to go watch a movie by myself again, The Northman.
That's right.
Great movie, by the way,
dude. Right?
Super. It was weird. And it got weirder. Then I enjoyed it. Then it got really weird.
That's
because
that's a Robert Eggers film for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. There was a part where even the guy, because I had the theater to myself until two people showed up like 15 minutes into the movie. I'm like,
and then you gotta put
whatever.
your pants back on.
Sure. I will say. I'll say one or two things. I'll say two things. One. Loved that the movie really showed the fact that the Nords were not good people.
Oh yeah, they were.
Because I feel like a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, being a Viking's super cool." I'm like, "Nah, dude, they like raped and pillaged and just messed everything up hard."
Actual history.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines from that movie is there's like somebody chopped up and they put him in like on top of a building.
Oh, it's when he puts him up as a horse.
Yeah. And he hangs a bunch of like body parts and they were just like, "Oh, it was the Christians," and then he was like, and then you're like, "What? Like, why do you think it's the Christians?" And it's like because they prayed to a dead body hanging from
sticks.
a tree.
Yeah.
Like obviously they would pray to this. This is some sick stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a fair point.
No, it is. That's
But there was a part where it's basically, to kind of summarize the movie, it's a story about revenge. That's all it is.
It's Hamlet.
Yeah, basically. And there's a part where, should I tell you, are you gonna watch it, or do you care if I
do plan on watching it? I just don't know when in the theater. I might watch it after.
Do you want me to tell you the part that was kind of like a little bit uncomfortable?
Oh, for you, that's probably not that uncomfortable. For me, go ahead.
It's kind of a major spoiler.
Oh, it is? Then never mind.
I'll put it this way.
Was it the menstrual blood scene?
No, it was the part where he finds the truth. He finds out the truth.
Oh,
yeah, because even the guy behind me, because let
me put it like this: if you've seen Hamlet, you know the twist.
Oh, okay.
So the guy behind me slammed his chair because he was just like, what? Because
that's great.
I even was just like, we're going there, and we got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the problem. The only thing, it's not even a problem I had with the movie. It was a great movie.
So yeah.
The thing was, I was watching that movie super baked. And because my buddy, dude, I will say I'm not condoning weed because that's something that we can't do in a family friendly thing. But if you happen to partake,
is it family friendly that we?
No, we don't say the F word.
Because it gets bleeped out half the time.
He won't allow me to say the F word. I'm assuming it's family friendly then.
It's advertisement friendly.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's more like it.
So the thing is that we're driving to go see the Northman, and my buddy is in the front seat, and he goes, "Hey man, I have a pen. Would you like some?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then I vape, so I immediately went, "Oh, I'm gonna hit that." And then I went, and then I die in the back seat of his car. I'm like dying in the back seat of his Tesla, and then he yelled at me saying, "If you throw up in the back seat of my Tesla, I'm gonna make you lick it up."
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking to. Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh my god!" So then now mind you, I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then the problem was I was already kind of stoned, so then I forgot it was in my hand, so I kept hitting it throughout the ride. Where I was just like, "Yeah, guys."
So did you even pay attention to any of the movie?
Dude, I was fully invested. Like 5 minutes in, dude, it was so funny because my buddy that was sitting right next to me, I was sitting there, and I'm like, "Oh," and I told him the twist right at the beginning of the movie. I was like, "Oh," like as soon as as soon as his dad dies. That's
the beginning.
That's the beginning of the movie. Yeah,
I know that's the part of the plot.
As soon as his dad dies, as soon as that happens, and it's like a whole thing of him like going away, I was like, "So and so did it," and then like, he was like, "What? That's wild." No. And all of a sudden, like, it happens, and he's like,
"Well, I just won the movie."
He's like, "Dude," and I'm like, I don't know. I just knew. Like immediately, like everything just connected in my head, and I was like, "Oh, I know exactly what's gonna happen."
You know what movie we do have to see coming up in 2 weeks?
Oh, Maverick.
Oh, dude, I need to get us tickets. As soon as we're
I
done with
have.
this-
So
I have AM.
You have A-list?
sometimes. Yeah, I have.
Woo! Let's go!
You're no longer.
Okay,
no
these
longer
guys were acting
was
such
so-
like D-bags when we went to go see Doctor Strange.
So hold on, that was so funny.
They're like, Bryan had the biggest like head up his ass.
It was just.
It was like Nick times 11.
It was
some
so,
reason.
It was so funny.
I don't know where that came from.
It was so funny because you were literally following me into the
I usually do that though.
You
Yeah.
usually do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I was feeding off of his energy because I was like, "Oh, Bryan won't yell at me if I do this." So I immediately turned around and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing in this line, peasant? Get over that. Get over in the free line." Just like what?
Freaking Bryan just goes like, "Yeah, yeah, Rene, you're not an A-list member. It comes with its own special privileges, all right?
You peasant.
Yeah."
I don't know what it was, but me and Bryan were vibing. It never happens. But me and Bryan were like, "Oh, you toxicity."
Dude, I've never had so much power like that before. Dude, it's great.
So funny. It was
Oh, man.
It was so great.
So apparently Top Gun is better than the first one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dude, I would have called that.
Dude, I'm gonna
called that.
so I'm gonna see it Sunday the weekend it comes out because Andy wants to go see it with her mom and I'm like, we gotta go watch it in an IMAX. Like,
So that means that we're watching it that Thursday.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, cool.
Because I want to watch it first, so that I can take that away from Andy. Because I want that moment of like you sitting down and then she going like, "Babe, it's so great that we're watching this together," and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I already saw it."
I already know. Dude, what is there to spoil?
I saw
It's
it with
jets.
Nick.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Jets.
There's not
It's-
much
And
to
China
spoil.
was even interested in the movie at one point. So you know.
Okay, so I think I can almost get it. Iceman gets sick, so then he has to hire another Top
stop.
Gun.
Stop.
He has to get another Top Gun. So then that's why he gets Maverick. Maverick comes in. Then Maverick then teaches these new recruits. The new recruits are like, "Oh my God, who's he? Why is he here?" And then he just rocks the heck out of them. And then he has to
He's
then
like, I'm
find
Tom Cruise,
respect.
baby.
Yeah, then he has to find a new respect. And then
Y'all ever did an inverted barrel roll or whatever they
Then-
call it in 4? Let's do 5G now.
Then I'm calling it
4G?
right now.
This back in the 80s.
They're all
Do 6G.
they're all like they're not like
10G.
vibing as a team as teams and everything else. And then he has to then combine them together with his like out of the box thinking. And then like they play volleyball.
There's no volleyball scene. I think there's a
Yes,
beach
there is. They're playing volleyball in that scene. Dude, they're
scene.
playing
Do we get a
volleyball together.
21st century volleyball scene?
Yeah.
Yes. You're playing volleyball with all these people. Yes. And then after
It's happening.
And then after the volleyball scene, then somebody dies, and then he feels responsible, and he doesn't want to take them on this
Goose's
new.
son that dies.
No.
I don't think it's Goose's son. I do think that it's Goose's wingman dies. So that way him and
yeah.
Maverick can then connect over the fact that their wingman's dead.
Yeah.
And then
I
they
know
both
how
have,
you feel now.
Exactly. And then when
Are
it's
we going to talk
happening,
about this on the podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course,
Then-
we're gonna review this. Yeah.
Then
You hear that,
then-
Adam? It's ours.
Then then just to put it all together, they then have to go on a mission, and because Goose's son doesn't have a wingman, and Maverick doesn't have a wingman, Goose's son becomes his wingman, and they fly together at the very end.
Dude,
of the
I'm
movie.
gonna cry.
See Goose's
Stop.
Goose's ghost.
Stop,
on
dude!
his-
I'm gonna cry. If that's what ends up happening,
And then-
where they're like flying together in sync, and like he like looks back and it's Goose instead of his son, dude, I'll lose it. I'll be like, oh, dude, oh.
You know,
Dude, I still cry every time Goose dies.
We're 20
you know-
minutes in. We still
you know-
haven't talked about news.
We're
yet.
14 minutes in.
you know, all you're gonna hear is just. It's so beautiful.
I just finished.
Can I borrow your tissue?
Can we go to announcements now?
Now you want to get
Yeah,
to
now we
go.
got to talk about announcements.
Okay.
We sidetracked with all this AMC talk. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it up with the nerds.com for all the up-to-date information on everything that gets released, including podcasts and skits. Because year 2 is just around the corner, we do have a new ad that I am currently editing. It'll be up there. We're
Eventually.
eventually. No, it'll be up there by year 2.
Eventually.
By year 2. By year 2. We're also going to be working on some new stuff for the podcast as well, so keep an eye on that. Our Real Addiction releases their podcast on Thursdays. Can you stop? I'm trying to do some ads.
You can't hear it. It's fine.
I heard it. Jesus Christ, dude.
Savage.
Our Real Addiction every Thursday. Rene was on this last one.
I was.
Yes,
it was
sir.
fun. It was actually really fun.
Yeah, you guys talked about.
Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
So it was different universes colliding.
Yes.
Brian
And
has
then
jumped over.
incursions.
Adam hasn't invited me yet. I'm assuming
He
it's
hasn't
'cause
invited me. Oh no, that's a lie.
I was gonna say you've
I've
been on
it
there like,
twice.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's because they're afraid. It's fine.
Afraid of what?
Everything.
The truth.
Let's just say.
Thank you
Got a
also
little out
to
of hand.
all the listeners currently listening now, and new ones as well. We are at 105 subs on YouTube, and 200 plus on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is great. We really appreciate the support. We're looking at the analytics and everything, and we've noticed that we've had a lot of support from everyone. We want to thank you guys for that, and we hope that continues into year 2 because we've got a lot more things planned for all of you guys, and we're pretty excited about it. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in issue 99, and then we do have an annual issue coming up with our year 2 issue 100 after that. So that is all about that. 99 annual, and then 100.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I finished Ted Lasso.
Congrats. Did you like it?
Dude, I love that show.
Did you cry?
I almost did.
Dude, just open the floodgates up, dude. I cried twice. Well, I cried. Did I cry twice?
That's
I don't
not true. A strong breeze will make you cry. That's not hard to do. Ted Lasso is an amazing show, though. It's really good. I really like Roy Kent. Like, that's like probably.
Oh, he's the
one of my-
best.
Dude, he's like my favorite. He's my favorite character. Not only that, but also his chant. I was humming it throughout the house.
He's
doing,
here.
He's there. He's every effing way. Roy Kent. I was like, oh my god, dude. Yes, this is an amazing chant. I was singing it as I was doing laundry, and I didn't even realize I was
they
doing
sell
it.
those jerseys online, right?
On what, the HBO website or what?
On Warner Brothers' website.
Ooh,
I want one.
I do want one.
Yeah.
I want one just so I can go to a Galaxy game and be like, I know it. I know the foosballs.
There's a lot of people that really love Ted Lasso. I wouldn't wear it at a Galaxy game. I'll tell you right now.
Why?
Because Roy, the actor that plays Roy Kent, and I forget who else, Coach Beard, they go to LAFC games, so it's not a good idea.
Do they
People
really?
Yeah, they got sold out. So I wouldn't go wearing that.
Why?
People get feisty. Soccer culture, man. I'm telling you.
That's his
Listen,
thing. So I
listen,
believe
man.
I'll just take
Warning
everything
you.
he says.
Listen, dude, I have gone to a Manchester bar. It's fine. It's not that bad.
Okay. Can we talk about Star Trek now?
Sure.
Yes.
The topic that Brian's been wanting to talk about for
Yes!
the whole week.
I wanted to talk more about Ted Lasso, but
No, we're not. We
I
can talk
haven't
about that
watched
next
it,
time.
honestly.
dude, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
It's on Apple TV?
Apple
Yeah,
TV.
Why is
unfortunately.
it on Apple TV?
Because Apple.
Because Apple bought a really good show.
Like, we'll take that.
With Jason
Honestly,
Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis kills
love
that
Jason
show.
Sudeikis.
Also, F. Nathan, dude, I was so irritated by the end of second season.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
he was a fan favorite, and then
ungrateful.
yeah,
I was like, dude, next season, smother him into the ground.
but that's no.
Until he
That's
stops
what
moving.
happens
Just-
with a lot of like soccer stuff in
just
Premier League.
yeah,
Susie falls asleep.
Deck him once in the back of the neck.
that's right.
Are you done with your bit?
Now I'm done.
We got you to watch Strange New Worlds.
Yes, right before we recorded. You're like, hey, just put it on. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause-
in all fairness, don't we us on this one. There was no we. I was eating pizza, and I brought pizza.
dude,
In
I've
all
seen that
fair-
episode 3 times already.
Wow, that's a lot.
love it.
That's a lot.
I love it. I
That's
love.
why, that was my
Disney
second
series.
time watching it. In which, honestly, I
It's-
do need to watch the second episode again because I was texting.
So my favorite thing about this is that it came out on May 4th.
Uh-huh.
It's a good point. Love it.
I swear to God, it's not that big a deal.
It is a big deal because Star Wars had no big news for May 4th this year.
They released the.
No one cares.
They released an Obi-Wan trailer.
Oh,
and
wow,
Obi-Wan
okay.
comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fine. In 2 weeks, it'll be relevant. Right now, it's just kind of like,
Right
okay,
now it's Star
we're waiting.
Trek, right?
Yeah.
You know what? When Obi-Wan comes out, and then you're like, "Whoa!" You know what? You won't, because you don't care about Star Wars. You honestly don't.
I do.
Nah, you don't.
I like it.
You like it, but you don't care.
It's cool. I
Like,
like the
like if
I like
somebody
the
were
laser swords.
like, okay, if somebody were to take
Set
away,
saber to stun.
if somebody were to take away Star Wars tomorrow, and like, you know, MIB like mind wipe you, you wouldn't really be missing a lot. I feel like that
Well,
would
because
be,
I had Star Trek.
I know, but I feel like if somebody were to take that
Okay,
away
but
from
to
Star
be
Trek,
fair,
then that would hurt you a
Star
lot
Trek,
more.
yes, because there's a deeper connection for Star Trek with me.
You think if I hit him in the temple hard enough, he'll forget Star Trek?
No.
No, I'd be dead.
Do you understand what the deeper
You'd
connection
be dead.
is? Do you understand what the deeper
So he'll
connection?
forget.
Nick. Do you understand what the deeper connection is?
Two.
Star Trek. It was the first sci-fi show my dad ever showed me as a kid.
Oh.
I mean, oh,
Well, now you made it sad.
exactly.
Can't pull that card.
I
man.
just did. What are you gonna do?
You know what? I'm gonna start revoking that damn card. Right? I'm gonna
you,
take it away.
You use that card for sadness. I use that for comedy, but more
Yeah.
dark comedy. Like
That's fine. I could do it. It's just
At
that
least,
when you
at
do
least
it, it's
when
funny.
Rene does a dead mom joke, at least
Because
it's
when he
funny.
does dark humor like that, everyone laughs. When I do it, I get told, dude, stop saying that. That's why bad things happen to you. And I'm like, yeah. Well, sometimes that's how I get through the pain.
I don't know. Well, maybe sometimes stop, like, you know, twisting the knife of fate into your own ass. I mean, I don't know.
What do you mean your own ass?
Like, Jesus.
Can we
go on about
I
Star
love how
Trek.
you made this. I just said it, and then you're making this all sad and stuff. Strange New Worlds is a great show.
It is. No, it actually
it is
watching
good.
it for the first time and not watching any other recent Star Trek show and watching just you guys explained it really well to kind of like pick it up.
Yeah.
But it was actually really good.
So this is one of 4 shows that are currently running. 5.
Yeah. I was gonna say there should be
5.
more than that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have Star Trek Discovery, Picard,
Excuse me.
Lower Decks, Prodigy.
Are you counting Lower
Straight-
Decks?
Yes.
It says Star Trek.
It's
Lower
not
Decks.
in that
not
time.
canon,
It's
though.
not canon, but it's
But it's
still
a
there.
show.
Yeah.
It's a Star
I mean,
Trek show.
In everything. Okay, here's the thing.
You would count that if it was a Star Wars show.
No.
Really?
No, because
There was like a Star Wars Jawas.
no, because that's like that's like if I were to say that
I'd watch that.
No, because that's like if I were to
Star
say
Trek
that
Ewoks.
Star Wars Robot Chicken is canon.
Okay. You would count that as like that?
I would
Or all
count
the
it as
Family
that.
Guy Star
Okay.
Trek episodes or Star
Yeah,
Wars
like
episodes.
I would
didn't
count it.
count
I would
for
count
Family
because
Guy.
because Lower Decks isn't canon and it's mainly just comedy. It's just
But the
it's-
amount of material they're putting out with the Star Trek name is what I'm saying. It's one of
Yes.
5 shows that is currently active right now.
Honestly,
because season
if
3 for
Par-
Lower Decks is coming out soon.
Yeah, if Paramount would have just kind of, you know, not done a show about a circle and then put another Star Trek show out there, I think I would have been okay with it. I would have been perfectly fine. That's a
Yeah.
solid IP that they've been doing really well on.
I'm so glad it's being picked up a lot more now because it felt like a lot of the fans of Star Trek were just kind of like in the shadows of Star Wars.
Well, that's the thing. Star Trek mediums before, let's say before the J.J. Abrams movies,
That's right, Trek.
it was it was dying out.
It was.
Yeah.
But I'll die on this. I'll die on this hill.
No, but the thing
Abrams
is, it's-
developed. Abrams directed a better Star Trek, 2 better Star Trek films than he did 2 Star Wars films.
He made it
No,
very
he did.
cinematic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a very cinematic Star Trek movie,
But
which is
I-
very good.
But I feel like Paramount gave him a lot. They gave him a looser strings.
because there was nothing to hold back.
Yeah, there
like
was
it was
nothing.
just like, okay, we got to do it. You got to do a shot in the dark.
There-
Like there's really no loss if the movie doesn't work. Okay, great. It's just another film for Star
because
Trek.
trying.
Trekkies to
because
watch.
their big thing was just we just need Kirk in the Enterprise. That's it.
Yeah.
Like as long as by the end of the movie Kirk has the Enterprise, you can kind of tell whatever story you
That
want.
seems like
Yeah.
the basis they gave him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was just like, all right. Whereas when he went with Star Wars, they were like, no, you got to do this, 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 and this. Then we got to set up for these 3 other movies, and then you got to also set up for this, and you got to set up for these books. And then it was just like, Jesus Christ.
He got set up for Disneyland.
Abrams had more fun. I felt Abrams had more fun directing Star Trek than he did Star Wars.
Yeah.
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 But
So
I feel like that's also the fan base too.
Yeah.
the fan base is super critical though. I would say Star Wars fans are more obnoxious. Star Trek fans are more critical. They're annoying too,
Yes.
but they're annoyingly critical.
Honestly,
Yes.
I put both fan groups kind of in the same corner.
In this corner.
I don't know. I feel like
Because Star Wars fans are more outspoken,
yes.
but Star Trek fans will also not give something through at least 3 episodes. Like if the first episode isn't good,
Star Trek.
They'll still follow.
Star
it.
Trek, they'll just
Discovery's
drop
on
it.
season 3.
Yeah, but
and
Discovery's
Picard's in
good.
season 2.
Yeah, but Discovery's pretty good.
Okay, so this is what this brings me back to Strange New Worlds. So I watched the first season of Discovery, and Discovery was good. My only problem was that it did not feel Trekkie enough because
It's very Star Warsy.
It's very Star Warsy, and so it's so interesting because I showed the reason it's my third time watching this episode is because the second time I showed my brother, who also grew up on Star Trek, but his Star Trek of choice was Voyager. Not the original series. So he grew up watching some of the original series, but he stuck more with Voyager, right? Then you have the people that are like, oh, I'm the next generation. You have people that are in Deep Space Nine.
Well, because I would say that Star Trek Discovery is more of a combination between Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and Star Trek.
Yes, it's a combination of everything. It's the Star Trek. It's in the Star Trek universe.
And then I would add like a little bit of Stargate and like a little bit of Stargate.
Stargate
It's
SG-1.
action. It's all action.
It's very actiony. It's very, but it's all about like alternate dimensions. And
Yeah.
like multiple timelines.
And so
stuff
what ends
like
up
that.
happening is that you lose an audience for that because if they're not into sci-fi action, you're going to be just bombarded with sci-fi terms that because the way that Star Trek terminology works is that they hit you. There's no explanation. It's like this is what's going on. Here's everything that you need to know. You don't know, sucks. You know, back in the 60s, back in the 70s, when the Star Trek was the first, was one of the first things to come out, or the first one, excuse me. You know, people just had to pick up on that lingo.
But the thing
pretty
is that
quickly.
Roddenberry would always he would have actual astrophysicists in the writer's room. So that way, if they were like, hey, how exactly would this work? Somebody would then give them a theoretical way that it could work, technically. Of like, oh yeah, you can do this with this and this. And then if somebody were to ever discover a way of doing this using these kind of formulas, then you could do this. And they were like, okay, cool, put that in the script.
The concepts of warp drive and everything were developed because of that,
And that's how Roddenberry really got away with that. Whereas in Star Wars, they just go, it's a parsec. I don't know.
They came up with their own language.
Yeah, George Lucas is just like, oh, what's a parsec again?
Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy.
Exactly.
Star Trek is sci-fi. Period. Like it's
just
it's sci-fi. Like it's hardcore sci-fi. So with Discovery again, you get that very action-filled, idea. You have people dying a lot. There's explosions. The starships in there, when they get shot, they're like hole opens up and people fly into space.
That is actually a really cool shot, though.
It is.
It's super messed up, but it's a really cool shot of like just like a torpedo wrecking through an entire starship, and then you see somebody like standing there with like a clipboard, and then you just see them like look at the camera and just get sucked out into space. And you're like, oh, that's awesome.
So there's a lot of that in this, but with Strange New Worlds, people don't know this one is taking place 10 years. 10.
He says
10.
10 years.
Hold on, you heard it too, right?
Yeah, he said
10 years.
He says a decade. It's like
He says he goes, is it soon? And he goes, no, I don't die for another 10 years.
No.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years.
He says 10 years.
We're going to go back and
Brian,
revisit that.
I
It's
swear
not.
to
He
God.
dies in 7 years. It's less than a decade.
Brian,
Anyways,
I
it's Captain
swear to
Pike.
God,
and
he said 10
it's
years.
Captain Pike captaining the Enterprise. Okay? And so it's set years before Kirk takes over the mantle as captain of the Enterprise.
Really quick, the actor that plays Kirk, is that the same actor that plays Black Bolt in Inhumans?
You're going to have to look that up.
I think it is.
Oh my
Might have to
God!
look that
is it-
up.
oh no, he plays Pike.
Yeah, Pike. Yeah.
I think it is.
No way. Pike is
Oh my God!
Black
I think
Bolt?
it is.
I think it is.
You
Hold
just
on.
had this like epiphany
oh my
right
God.
now.
I was just looking.
Like,
I was
I
just
think
kind of
it
like
just blew my
looking
mind
at the
right
actor
now.
because I was like, damn, he's like really good looking too. And I'm like, he
think
has
you're-
that. He
no, I
has
think
that
you're
captain
right.
look.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Black Bolt.
So what sold me on Strange? Well, he looks that up. What sold me about Strange
was it
New
called?
Worlds?
Strange New World.
Strange New Worlds. And you and I both agreed on this, right? So Discovery is the Star Wars of Star Trek, action filled and everything, right? Strange New Worlds, and this comes in by Andy because she's the one that brought it up.
Inhumans, right there.
So what?
Oh yeah, he is.
Black
He,
Bolt.
he plays Black Bolt. Yeah.
Anson Mount.
Strange New Worlds is the Doctor Who of Star Trek.
It is. I see where you mean by that. Honestly.
Yeah, because there's an overall arc and there's an overall story where we've tried to figure out how Pike is going through basically knowing his own fate because we know that in the original series he basically ends up dying, right? And so we know that. So we're going through this adventure where we know that he's about to die, but every episode is episodic.
Who did he play in Injustice?
I was just
Sorry,
checking.
keep going.
He's Batman.
He was Batman?
Really? In
He played the
Injustice?
voice of Batman. Wait, Justin Hartley does the voice of Superman in Injustice? That's cool, actually.
Yeah, Justin Hartley's been what was it? I love the fact that DC just gets like people from that have been doing stuff in the past and just bring them to do other stuff. Anyway, so Doctor Who is Star Trek.
Dude, you
Way
gotta
to
get
come
into
back.
Doctor Who. It's really good.
No, that's another show in which I feel like I just need to just sit down and just watch it.
There's a lot.
That's the thing though, is that I feel like I would love Doctor Who and I'd get into it like hard because I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like I love sci-fi.
But Doctor Who, I don't think is like true sci-fi.
It isn't.
It's
No,
just
it's
the
more
skin of
sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
But I love that
Because
kind of stuff.
it's more like sci-fi but with space magic.
Not only that, but also I really want to see John Barrowman play a villain again.
Oh no, he doesn't play a villain in
Yes, he
Doctor
does.
Who.
Who?
Doctor Who?
Doesn't he?
No,
Who's he play?
he plays Captain Jack.
Is that a bad guy?
No.
Damn
He's
it.
a love interest.
Yeah.
Or a love interest.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bless my gay little heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically is
He
like
plays for both teams.
yeah. Or no, not
more.
really. He's more pansexual. He's more like it doesn't matter. He'll have sex with any other species or
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
There it is.
He's
There it
having-
is, yeah.
Wait, he's having sex with horses in this thing?
No, it's
No.
just he's very attracted to like
He's basically
different-
like Captain Kirk. He is like Captain Kirk, where he'll just put his
Yeah.
thing in anything. You know,
Yeah.
as long as he'll be attracted to it, he'll be like, "You're next." You know,
So,
Like,
let's-
Bam, you're pregnant. Bam, you're pregnant. Bam, you're pregnant.
pow right in the kisser.
So what did you think of this? What did you think of the first episode, Rene?
I actually had fun watching it. It had me in the first like 15 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, this is interesting." And then when they showed him like the mission in hand, what they had to do, and then like the turmoils in that episode, you know, like classic little like, of course, nothing's gonna go as planned, you know.
yeah.
The mission never goes as planned. in
Yeah,
Star Trek.
and
That's
so
just-
it was very good. I loved it.
So
a
then
lot.
you'll love the second episode.
And I saw the previews for it. You know, I'm like, you know what? This seems like it's gonna be very fun. You
It
know?
is.
Yeah. The other thing that I really, really, really like about this show is the fact that they just went and they went. J.J. Abrams wrote the book on how the show should look.
Yeah.
Because it hardcore looks like the J.J. Abrams
They
film.
Because
took-
it's
they took the
cinematically
style.
beautiful.
Yeah, they
took
took
the style.
J.J. Abrams' style
Yeah.
of filming and they just
But made it more of like a modern but yet very throwback Star Trek show.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Because I was telling you, I was like, wait for it, lens flare, and like there's just lens flares everywhere and everything else. But the thing is that it does because even the tech, like the way that you see the front screen, is very J.J. Abrams movie esque. Like that's how exactly they're using it. Where it's like that's just a great idea.
But
like,
you know what's interesting about it is that like Abrams had a movie budget to work with. This has a TV budget, right?
Yeah.
Do you
the
notice that?
technology's also advanced,
It
so it's made
is.
it cheaper.
Yes, but what I was pointing out to Rene earlier was that it doesn't, even though it's modernized,
Yeah.
it doesn't lose that Enterprise aesthetic that like people that watch the original series
Yeah.
know, because it's simple. Even the captain's chair is like just a simple like blocky chair. Right, and everything is still kind of in the same colors. You just have a little bit of red here.
Yeah.
It's flashy with the screens and everything. In the second episode, you'll see the front screen. They're basically the windshield that's in front of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
You'll see it, and it will remind you of like, oh, this is pretty much what it looked like in the original series. Even in the Next Generation, when Picard is talking to
Yeah.
aliens on that screen right there. So it's very reminiscent.
Picard yells at that screen half of that show.
Yeah.
Like half of that show, he's yelling at
So
that screen.
you and I were talking
so.
about this, where we're enjoying this Captain Pike.
Dude, this Captain Pike is dope.
He's actually really interesting. It's a fresh change up when you're so used to watching like either Kirk or Picard, you know.
Just so I get the heat, because I know I don't want you to lose your Star Trek cred. I know it's all you've got. I don't want you. I know it's. I don't want to take it away from you. It's fine.
What are you gonna say?
I think this Pike is the best captain.
No, I agree with you. I'm not. I'll die on that hill with you.
Honestly, he has that swagger. You know what I really do like about him though. He kind of has a Han Solo-esque kind of
Yeah.
swagger to him. He really does.
It does. No, it really does. It's
Yeah.
very.
He's got the smolder.
He's very stoic and and that smolder.
But
and
he
it's-
also is kind of carefree
Yeah.
and like he's very fun too. Where you're like,
but he also has that love for his crew. You can tell.
Yeah.
Because there are times where Picard is kind of Picard's got to stick up his butt.
Yeah.
Let's just be
Picard's always angry or always he's
very stoic,
Yeah.
or he's just like really upset, or he's like contemplating the fate of the galaxy in his own hands.
He has the weight of the universe on.
He has the weight of the
shoulders.
universe, whereas this Pike is very much of just like I'm not gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
But you know what? It's because Picard's first officer also kind of shared that same energy as well.
but I feel like I feel like the reason why they did that is because they wanted to make it different from the first.
Of course.
That's
Yeah.
how they were gonna because if I just did the same thing that we did inside the original Star Trek and then made Picard and his first officer exactly the same way,
It wouldn't have worked.
it wouldn't work. You need that. You need a different person in the chair.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this show, and you'll notice in the second episode, is that every character so far that's introduced from the original series is going to have a growth. So in this one, like this, who plays this one? It's the Spock. I forget his name. It's something Beck.
Let me see.
I think it is.
I have it right here.
Yeah, you just had it up.
So
Ethan Beck.
Ethan Beck, he's a fantastic Spock.
Yes.
Because it's not just the voice, but he understands the essence of what makes Spock Spock.
And it's very interesting too, because I noticed that he's taking from both inspirations of Spock. Because if you see him inside of Discovery,
The actor's from Passport to Paris with Mary Kate and Ashley.
dude,
What?
He played, I guess, one of the love interests.
Are you serious? Is that the
Yeah.
only thing he's credited
Well,
for?
no,
No,
he's
he's
done
got a
other
lot-
things.
he's got a
lot.
But
Oh,
that's
doesn't
that's the most well-known one. But he's also done like the 10 Things I Hate About You show.
he was in a lot of like those like CW / TV shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really do like this version because I do feel like he got a good mixture of like that physicality of the Abrams Spock. If you see him inside of Discovery, you see him like really, mixing it up in the middle of
Does
like
he-
fighting.
Okay, yeah.
He fights a lot. Yeah, he breaks a couple people's necks. Or he does like the whooshy finger hold thing.
The Vulcan
It's
grip.
the Vulcan grip.
It's a whooshy finger hold.
So you know this hold.
I just want him to say it once. Just want to say it once. It was just like, oh, is that the Vulcan grip? Oh, you know this hold. Anyway, yeah, so I really do like that they kind of took his physicality and then the performance of Nimoy and then put them together.
Yeah, it's good. It just makes me happy seeing him. Ahura too. Oh my god, she is just perfect,
Swoon.
dude. Because
Yeah,
it's
she's
so interesting.
beautiful. She's
Because
very pretty in here.
well, yeah, that, but also like Ahura in the main original series was very much like a presence, like a powerful presence. She was the linguistics expert of the ship, right? But here as a cadet, it's like she's learning. She's like adapting to that culture of Starfleet, which is good because now all these characters that are going to be showing up, they're going to have that growth because we still have to see McCoy. This is set before they go on there, but it's I'm going to say 5 years before they join. You say it's 10, but it's 5 to 8 and 5 to 7,
I'm
okay?
going to pull up the damn clip. Pull up the clip.
No, we're not going to pull up the clip.
Pull
We'll
up
do
the...
it-
No, because you keep on saying
Okay,
5.
can
keep
you
on
look
saying
it up?
7.
Look it up.
I
When
swear
does
to
Kirk
God.
take over the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds? Look
I
that
don't
up.
know
Well,
yet
you
because
and
it
I are
hasn't
gonna
happened.
argue-
It's in 2
Well,
episodes.
It's in 5 years Kirk gets introduced.
He's probably going to get introduced but not take over.
He will take over in 5 years because he gets promoted in 5 and then dies in 7.
He's
I'm
not going to
just-
die in 7.
He
I'm
dies
just-
in 7.
I'm just looking up when does Pike die in Star Trek Strange.
Okay, thank you.
Strange.
All right, anyways. So we still have McCoy,
Sorry.
who'll be joining the crew, right? Then you have Scotty, you have Chekhov, and then Sulu, who is the pilot. So that means that...
People going to die.
No, I don't think they're going to die because in that first episode, they made it clear no one dies on this mission. Pike tells that to this crew.
On this mission.
Even in the second one, no one dies. He makes it clear that he does not want anyone to die. So,
But the problem is that there are unforeseen things that happen.
of course.
And that is also something that you can then explore when an away team dies. Of him having that remorse.
Yes.
Of saying, I should have gone.
So-
Because I knew I wasn't going to die.
Ortegas is the pilot of...
Yes.
Yeah, she
In which
flies the... She
also,
flies the,
I wouldn't be
Enterprise.
surprised if some of them split off.
If you watched episode 2, she's going to get promoted. For that one scene. Or she-
Probably.
Yeah, because she wants to be the best pilot in Starfleet.
So
So promote her. Or transfer to another ship.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're... then why would you leave the flagship?
Because I don't think the Enterprise is that big of a shit for them to be like, oh, like.
But it's still the flagship. That's the crown jewel of the fleet.
Unless they introduce another one. Maybe. Who knows?
Because I remember that was like the whole thing in the original show of like, this is the crown jewel of Starfleet.
But again, there's shows like Discovery that throw things out the window and go like, well, this is no canon. But
the thing is that, like, okay, so in Discovery they have like the spore drive and everything else. All that technology was lost, and that's why they don't mention it anymore.
I will say
in the show.
I will say this: there's not going to be that many deaths in the series. I feel like if anything, it's going to be, if the death does happen, it will impact Pike, like you said. That I do agree.
But that's what I'm saying, because in Discovery, there's not a whole lot of like main character death. There's a lot of like
side
character death. Yeah. Like characters that they meet or characters. I mean, in Discovery, they destroyed an entire planet. They Alderonned it. No, I'm being quite serious about that. There's literally Booker's entire planet just gets like just vaporized in like the 4th season. But yeah, there is a lot of death in there.
So it is supposed to be 2 years before Discovery first season of Discovery.
No, 2 years after.
I'm telling you, that's 2 years before.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
For perspective,
that's 2 years before Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, and 13 years before the original series. During the events, blah, 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 blah. Hold on.
Pike and his crew, including his man number 1.
Pike is captured and is currently in enhanced guise.
It's really confusing, the timeline.
No, I'm telling you, it's been at least 3. Even if that is the case, then it's only been 2.
Continue in
Well,
the
point
5
being-
years. So he's on a 5-year mission. We all know that.
Yes.
Yes.
But currently on a year later in 2257, the Enterprise crew was investigating blah 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 blah.
Series of mystery, Red Burst.
Oh, let's just tell me about Discovery.
You don't want to know about Discovery.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's like talking about.
I'm telling you, it was because he specifically says, "I don't die for another 10 years."
We'll figure it out after. Yeah. How about that?
Okay, because we got to move on.
Yeah,
We're
I-
at 47 minutes.
Yeah. So, Strange New Worlds.
What do I get when I'm right? Nothing. I demand you buy.
We'll
me
look
a
into
drink.
it when we go to the bar. How about that?
You buy me a drink.
How about you can?
I will buy you a drink, and if I'm right, you buy me a drink, and if you're wrong, you buy all of us a drink.
No.
What?
We're not throwing that bet. I'm not
Why?
doing that bet. No.
Why?
Because your bets are weird.
Because you know.
Your bets are weird.
Because you know you're gonna lose.
Can we wrap up this so we can move on?
I will say this: the one part in episode 1 that made me like, that's awesome, is when they beamed liquid into Spock.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought that was dumb. I really thought that was
love that
dumb.
they decided let's do that.
I literally looked at both
That's
of you.
not
and
how
went,
that
"That's
went. It was
not
just like,
how
can you
that
warp
works."
Yeah.
this into someone's eye? And he's like, I don't think I can. Well, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, you have to figure it out.
Especially since
I mean, you're not Scotty, but you got to figure it out.
No, not only that, but also like it was in a container.
But
So
they-
what happened to the container?
No, the container
It
stayed
stayed.
there, but it was empty.
Yeah, they warped the liquid.
That would have been hilarious if it would have just been. Just has like a
I mean, you could pass. You got glass, like a vial inside your eyeball. Like, thank you.
and that's the story of Spock losing an eye.
Right?
Oh my god, I'm gonna continue. Oh my god, I just love this show so much.
I'll
man.
definitely continue it and see how far I can get.
I'm just
with it.
really happy that I can watch it right after I watch a terrible show.
Oh my
we might as well
God.
just get that out of the way, honestly.
I
mean, that's the best segue, honestly.
That we have one more week of this garbage.
So there's just one episode left, right?
Dude, that means issue 99 is gonna be Halo.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Unless we make it an annual.
No,
No, we're not.
that doesn't deserve it. Give it
Don't
a
we
main
need
issue.
an annual though?
Yeah, we do, but it doesn't. It's not worthy of an annual.
But that's not the annual.
That's not the annual. I'm telling you right now. No, give it issue 99.
I'm not spending that much time on it. I'm not giving it the. I'm not giving it the pleasure.
It doesn't deserve pleasure.
A whole issue.
Okay, so let's get into it.
So basically,
I watched the show at like. Also, I will admit, I watched the show at like midnight.
I watched it this morning.
Because
Did you do that? You're
because
so
I knew that I didn't want to have to wake up early so that way I could watch it, and I wasn't gonna have time beforehand. So I was like, "Dang it, I'm gonna have to watch."
So
this
we
thing
got
midnight.
Master Chief, then the Master Cheeks.
dude
In the master sheets.
So apparently Master Chief has sex.
No, he has sex.
No, yeah.
They full on.
And she was like, "I'm gonna rip out my nail because it was so good."
So long story short, how can we describe?
That actually kind of confused the hell
So
out
let
of
me.
I was like, why are you whipping out your only weapon?
Give me
What are you doing?
time me on this. I'm gonna see if I can do a 30-second summary
Okay.
of this episode.
Right.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm
At 15.
gonna wait at the 30-second
Okay.
mark.
Trying to think about like how to start this because I don't remember the beginning portions of the episode.
They banged.
No, not at the beginning.
They started banging
No, not at the beginning.
immediately.
All right, you got 5 seconds.
All right, watch.
4,
30 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
So we're back on Reach, and we're following the story of Master Chief and, him trying to figure out, what's her name, McKee or something like that?
McKee.
Basically, he's like, I hate you. Why are you here? Yada, yada, yada. Something happens where they're interconnected. Halsey and Creepy Dude are kind of like still observing their whole interaction. He has a change of heart, says, hey, you know what? Let's go on a
10
walk,
seconds.
right? You don't know anything about Reach. They have a moment. They grow together. Dog barks. She freaks out. They bang.
5,
They all of a sudden say, oh, you know
4,
what? Sex changed my life. So
3,
she pulls a nail out.
2, 1.
And... God damn, couldn't do it.
You needed
I
like 10
15 more
yeah,
seconds
or 15,
because
yeah.
essentially afterwards, Halsey comes out with this plan where she's like, you know what? We're going to take the artifact because they don't deserve the artifact because I know what to do with the artifact. So she
Mine.
says, you know what? We're going to activate Order 66 on these dumbasses. And we're going to make because then she
Order
says,
66 was a smart plan. This was like Order 60
okay,
dumb.
bootleg Order 66.
Dude, this was
Halsey
like
went to downtown
Dollar
LA
store
and said,
66.
Halsey went to downtown LA and said, you know what? I'm going to get Order 66 from one of those street vendors.
No,
okay?
she went.
And then she
"Can I
got
get
that.
Can I get Order 66? And then they were like, that's going to cost you one dark
All right, I'll take
Tyrannus.
Order 99.
And then they were like, can I get an Order 99 with like a side of fries? and then they were like, yeah, sure, here. And then because they kill no one.
No,
Yeah,
so
no,
the Spartans
yeah,
are all,
that's-
no. Wait, that's a straight up lie because when the Spartans are activated essentially to take the artifact away from the humans in Reach or the Marines,
Yeah.
right? Kai, who's the other Spartan that took the pill out of her bag so she can start feeling emotion, she's like, guys, should we be doing this? Stupidly enough, does it with the helmet off, then gets hit in the head twice. Great part, because I started laughing my ass off there. She's like, I just got beaten up.
Yeah, there's a lot of if only you had armor on.
Exactly. And then it gets weirder because Cortana... I'm not even talking about the greatest part in the sex scene.
Yeah.
So they bang it out because he has a change of heart, right?
Yeah.
As Cortana watched.
As Cortana's freaking watching,
Yeah.
which makes absolutely no sense. There's no need to put Cortana in that scene. Obviously,
What
like
are you talking about? Cortana was the one that was moving his penis. Cortana's connected.
I'm
So
here
it-
to help the Master Chief.
If anything, she had sex with Cortana.
dude,
That's what I got away from.
That was a
'cause
threesome right
What?
there.
That was a threesome.
So
Because
the
honestly,
thing-
Cortana's in his brain. She sees everything and feels everything Master
Like,
Chief
I'm gonna
does.
elevate your penis.
And then she's like, "Oh, Chief, you're gonna come in 5, 4, 3, 2."
you thought.
I held it back, Chief. I held it back. 4 more. It's
good,
More
it's
thrusts.
good, it's
4
good.
more thrusts. Let's go, 3, Chief.
What's so weird?
I have an escape route to
that's-
the left.
But that wasn't the weirdest part, right? Because after she
That's not the
witnesses,
weirdest?
no, it's not. Because after she witnesses that the whole sexual act, she has a change of heart.
Also,
or
she's-
as much as a
she
change of
looks
heart.
she looks uber jealous.
Yeah,
Of like,
that's,
Oh, no,
okay,
she does,
No,
yeah.
she's super jealous.
Yeah.
She's just like, dude, that's my dude to bang. I just don't have a body,
Yeah.
right? So she has like some sort of change of heart
wanna
and
mind
essentially
bang
warns Master Chief, hey, there's going to be a counterattack on you, right? The 2 Spartans are waiting for you at the door.
Yes.
Do something about it. So he sends McKee out to basically warn the rest of the Marines or the UNSC, hey, you know what? This is what's going on. They don't believe her. So from being
I'm not gonna lie.
sex changes a person.
I'm not
because
gonna
she
lie.
went from being a spy to a good person.
Dude,
and then guess what?
Dude, that dick must be good.
So I'm not even at the best part
Master
because
Chief
the more
must
I
have
think
a
about
monster,
it,
have a monster wank.
the more I think about
Yes.
it, right? I feel like the writers did this. We cannot have her change. We cannot have her change of heart because if she does, then it's insinuating that Master Chief saves humanity because of
penis.
dick. Exactly.
With his penis.
But yeah, if it just came out of a realization of like, oh no.
No, we can't, dude.
Yeah.
Sex doesn't save humanity. So let's go ahead and make a security guard stun her ass one more time so she reverts back.
That was the dumbest thing ever.
Which it's so
It was
stupid.
such a filler episode. It,
I
like,
don't. I honestly,
this wasn't a
ju-
filler.
No, but it was to get to point A to point B.
I'm gonna be totally honest.
That's
with
what
you.
it was.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why there's an actual war is because both armies are incompetent. That's like the Covenant is incompetent. UNSC are totally incompetent.
Yep.
And I think they're just bumping heads because they're of both armies.
I just read what the title name for episode 9 they just released.
The Fall of Reach?
No, Bamboozled. That's legit.
That is not what it's
It's
called.
not what episode 9 is called.
It literally says episode 9 Bamboozled.
Guys, this was all a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, way to go. Halo was a complete joke.
Dude, that sounds like a Monty Hall sketch.
Jesus Christ. It's called Bamboozled? What was the 8th episode called?
Allegiance.
That makes sense.
Allegiance to what?
Inheritance
His
was
dick?
7.
Inherit
that dick.
No, okay. Here's my thing though. I didn't understand. I feel like I'm broken record at this point because it's so easy to see.
All 8 issues beforehand. Okay,
Why-
we started in issue 90.
I really feel like it's a broken
Every time we
record.
do Halo Watch, it's a freaking broken
I
record.
feel like it's a broken record.
We
'Cause
keep
all
saying
you-
this show sucks.
I feel
No.
like that's a troll.
No.
Like
but
you guys are bamboozled because you sit through this whole series.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have a lot of respect for it if it was literally just the creator and the entire crew just flipping off the camera for 45 minutes.
What if
I'm gonna laugh if this was all a dream.
Oh, it just goes away?
Yeah,
Like it just
like this whole
itself?
season never happened.
No.
And it was like Master Chief dreaming, and it's in the first episode. It goes back to the first. He gets like knocked out.
Dude, I will pass out, man. I will pass out of annoyance.
Okay.
That's
so-
I'm calling it.
So hold on. So here's the thing that frustrates me, is that
This is the thing that frustrates you?
it's a thing of you spent so much money on the suit. Wear the suit. Like
I know, and it's in the opening sequence too of him putting on
That's
the suit.
what I told
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
I'm like, why? Because we watched it, and we're just kind of like, what the hell is this show doing? So why
Like
is
they
it
spent,
that the
they spent
show...
a lot of money on that suit. They
So
spent
why
a lot
is
of
it in
money.
the opening credits, and we don't see the goddamn suit?
Like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's never worn it, really. But I just think it's really weird that especially I'm transporting a prisoner to get on a shuttle to leave. And at no point I thought I should get ready. Like this is like I'm going I'm gonna get on a plane, but I didn't pack
I'm
any of my
escorting
bags.
a high-profile
File
artifact,
artifact.
and I'm gonna
Oh, there's a
walk.
preview. You want to watch the preview?
No,
I clicked on episode 9. I'm like, I wonder if they have the preview.
no,
Maybe.
no,
it's-
preview.
I don't think it is a
We're
preview.
watching this blind. I want
was
to
9
be
hours
surprised.
ago.
I want to
maybe
be
it might
filled
be
with
that.
rage
Okay,
when I
here's-
watch
here-
episode
okay,
9.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing I don't understand.
Oh, you've been bamboozled.
I don't know why. No, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the Fall of Reach. It's going to
Good
end.
God, dude!
it's gonna end with
Sex
the Fall
is
of
the
Reach.
reason why the Fall of Reach happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why it's going to be you're bamboozled. She lied.
was that
She lied to
dick.
us and everything like that. And then he's going to start hating her.
Do these writers have these writers never written anything before?
I don't know. Anyway,
so
No, it went through so many
stupid.
rewrites. Remember?
remember it has 257 different scripts. This is
Someone,
together.
Dude,
someone
I'm
went
just
through that
like,
whole pile and
listen,
like, yes,
These
that
people
one.
are getting paid.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And somehow there's people out there doing this stupid, godforsaken show.
But hold on, just to
And getting
finish.
paid.
Just to finish my point, they spent all this money on making a suit. They did an intro that shows him in the suit and like it going around him and everything like that. That's fine.
No.
But at no
They
point
shot the
does he
trailer with
ever.
him in the suit.
But at no point does he ever wear it. In which the fight with the other two Spartans
I hope
would
that
have
taught him
been
a lesson.
so.
I hope that taught him a lesson.
It would have, but it would have been so much cooler. Not only that, but also it would have been so much harder to watch him in the Spartan suit. Like I really just want to see him in the suit.
So here's something else.
Like-
Nick, here's the frustrating part about it. Ready? Okay? Out of the 4 Spartans that were there, Chief was the only one that didn't have the armor, right? So what was Chief going to do with the pistol when the person he was pointing at, when the Spartan he was pointing at was wearing the armor? The armor has shields.
She
He
said
has
it-
got nothing.
No, she said she has two more. She has two more shots and her shields go down, and then you can hit her. But the thing is that even if I shoot her, she's still wearing the Mjolnir
If they
armor,
both shoot, can Chief shoot 2 shots before she shoots one?
technically. But I mean, also, but she's still wearing Mjolnir armor. She's still wearing armor. Like that's. You're wearing flesh. I'm wearing armor. Even if my shields go down, I'm still wearing armor.
Exactly.
It's still better to protect me from a bullet.
Exactly.
So is my helmet.
So
Like,
how
it's
is
a
he
ballistic
threatening?
helmet.
Why was he
He's
threatening
not.
in that situation?
He's not.
I hope that fight taught him a lesson, and it's like, hey,
Should really wear that
dumbass,
armor.
wear your freaking armor.
I honestly think, I'm really telling you, the Chief is incompetent.
Okay, I think the next one. Okay, because I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes.
So it's not Bamboozled.
It's not bamboozled. It's Transcendence. Transcendence.
So where did the
Transcendence.
title Bamboozled come from?
I don't know. Someone must have went on Wikipedia about it.
It changed.
I think that's what it was, honestly.
That's a troll, man.
It is. That was a good troll.
That's a good troll.
That was a
That's
good
hilarious.
troll.
It just bamboozled.
And we believed it because the show's so ridiculous like that. That's
Honestly,
the thing.
if it really was, if it really did show up next week and it said bamboozled, I'd be like, that's about right. That's about right. That's how I feel. But yeah, dude, honestly, this is just it's a real waste of time.
It really is.
No, because honestly,
But we're doing it for them.
No, we're
I
doing
know,
it for
but-
content.
no, but
we're
the-
just doing it
but the-
Just like we did Morbius.
No, but the problem
Yeah.
is, well, I mean, Morbius was one night. This has been
It's been 2 months.
it's been 2 months.
Torture.
Has it been 2 months?
80
Oh my
episodes.
God.
One
You ever
episode a
watched
week.
the movie or read the book Clockwork Orange?
Yes.
You think that this is what they show the people?
Probably.
Oh my God!
No, but is it just me, or did you also feel that the scene in the room where they're holding the artifact was community theater?
Yeah.
Like, it was so hacky and it was so overacted,
Yes.
and it was
Yeah.
so just like
Plus that guard.
it was just so over the
That
top.
guard's acting. You know, the one that was.
The one that stuns her?
Yeah, we're just like,
what are you doing?
yeah,
What are you doing? He's like,
Like,
okay,
I was just-
you have to be concerned and you're tough. Okay, I got it. What are you doing here? Where's my stun?
No, but it was just so, like, honestly, there wasn't another take.
No.
There really wasn't any more takes. Like, that's what you were.
It had to
going
be that
for?
guard, too. It had to be that
That
guard.
has to be that guard too. That's another
It had
thing.
to be that guard, which is so freaking dumb because
What are you doing?
You know
to
what?
Squid head in there.
Reach would not have fallen because of Master Chief's penis. But now now Reach falls because of that guard.
I'm just saying, this is supposed to be about.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be about the UNSC's battle with the Covenant.
Where's the covenant?
I haven't seen the Covenant. Like,
They keep talking about how the Covenant's super dangerous and they don't trust the Covenant, but we've only seen them fight twice. That's it.
In 8
weren't
episodes.
and those weren't even like per se battles. It was just like they were meeting at the same spot and they're like, shoot at them. You know, like.
So it's interesting because do you guys know who Moist Critical is? Charlie?
Yes.
yeah. What about him?
So he actually did a video today where he titled it "Forgive Me" because he talks about Halo. Okay. He brought up a good point because he was saying how the armor, right? He's saying like the production value of this is complete garbage. Like, where did the $10 million go? It's exactly the same thing that we were saying, right? But he's saying, why is it that Chief is so often seen without his helmet and he's so monotone when he's trying to exhibit emotions? The armor, I think you said it like 2 or 3 issues back. When he wears armor, when the actor wears armor, he is exhibiting more emotions than he does without the helmet. Which is kind of sad because now I don't feel sympathy for that actor. Like, if you like him and he might be doing some great jobs elsewhere, that's fine. Here, I just don't buy it. He's not a good actor.
He's not Master Chief. That's the
He's
thing.
not.
He's
The
not.
girl that plays Quan, she could be a good actor, a good actress, but it's just she's really so terrible.
I feel like she was given the Hayden Christensen thing.
yeah.
Of like I feel like she is a good actor. I feel like she's actress.
Yeah.
I feel like with the proper material and the proper direction, she could
With better sources, with better,
with
script
better
writing and
material
stuff.
and everything else. Same thing with Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen, he's done other stuff. He's done really great work in other places. It was just direction. The direction was off.
It really comes down to the writing. The writing is poorly written and stuff. Like, the production is not bad. They actually have good sets, and
Halo?
Halo at least.
No. When you really think about it, do they?
No.
I mean,
It's a hallway. And then they have what was it? Then they have like one driveway that they all come down. They have a single warthog that they then decide to show off every so often.
Yeah,
Everything else is bad CGI
oh yeah,
or a green screen.
So I didn't know this. Moist Critical points it out in that first episode when Chief throws the assault rifle on the floor. Apparently that was CGI'd.
Yes.
Really?
I didn't even notice it. I'm just like,
See,
dude.
that's
And
very
when he
unnecessary.
showed the footage,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, how did? I think the show was just so bad everywhere else. I didn't notice the small little details.
That's why we were saying it was like the CGI was terrible everywhere. It was just all over the place.
That's true. And
Of
then whenever
just-
they go to a different place, it's always a crowded area.
So this, because we should probably move on to our next portion of the topic, but it does go alongside Halo,
I'm
right?
also really sure that, especially since this was being filmed in COVID, like nearing.
But there comes a point
No,
where
I'm-
COVID does not become an excuse.
No, I'm talking about the price tag.
Sure.
It's no, because you have to hire on several more people in order to do COVID protocols. You have to then separate everybody. You have to make sure everything else is
So money
ready.
was wearing thin.
Money was going other places.
And plus, they were speeding this one. They had to put something out because they were going to lose the rights
yeah.
if they didn't have anything in time.
When did the rights lapse?
Let's see.
Can you try and see if you can find that?
So, so I'm trying to figure out where
It's Paramount that owns it, or is it Showtime?
Showtime.
Showtime.
Showtime or Paramount.
Well, I think it's both. I think Paramount is like that big parent company.
yeah.
But I think Showtime is the one that has it. So here's my thing. I'm trying to figure out who actually believes the show is good. Like, who legitimately feels like this show is good?
I have one friend that I used to know, that I still know. I went to elementary school with him, and he was a huge Halo fan. He's been following, read the books and stuff like that. Fortunately, he does think the show is good.
But why?
I do not know. I didn't really want to talk to him about it. That's why I was like, it's his opinion. That's why I didn't want to go into debate. But I posted a meme about someone when it's like, you got to give actors benefit of the doubt that they don't want to be in costume the whole time, and it shows Carl Urban as Judge Dredd. He wanted.
I saw that.
Yeah. And then he commented, he's like, I don't care what people say. I love Halo. It's a good show. And I'm like, all right.
But that's the problem, is that what makes it a good show? Because if we tear it apart, if we separate two different groups, right? The people that love Halo to death, that know everything about Halo, right? And then people that probably don't know anything about the series. They're just watching it to see another sci-fi show, right? The show doesn't fit in either one of those categories because it's set in an alternate reality. It's following different things, a different storyline. It's just taking assets, right? So the people that are huge fans of Halo, they're not getting what they want. But even if for people that don't know anything about Halo, this show relies too much on understanding where these assets are coming from.
So that's the reason why when I was saying, when I was talking about the Quan episode, where I was saying, oh yeah, I liked that episode the most out of all of the episodes. Don't get me wrong. The Quan episode, not a great episode.
Can I get a timestamp real quick?
107.
Go on, Nick.
107. So anyway, of all of the terrible episodes that are on here, of all of them, I enjoyed the Quan episode the most. But the problem, and the reason being, is because I didn't have any standards for that episode. I didn't have anything to go that's not Master Chief, that's not Halsey, that's not this.
But is that a good enough reason to say that episode is it's like a salvation for that series?
No, it's not a salvation for the series. But the thing is that I enjoyed it because I didn't know anything about these characters. I have no background information about these characters. So all now I'm relying on is for the show to explain and tell me about these characters. Which the pirate is an interesting character. You have him as a
Soren.
character. Soren he's an interesting character, a failed Spartan that turned pirate and took out his inhibitor chip and then ended up starting a family. It's very Order 66 with a couple of the clones.
Okay. Because
some of the clones did that. It's just an interesting story. If you were to expand on that and there's a Spartan failed that became a pirate and a bounty hunter, that's awesome. You made the Mandalorian. Essentially, that's what you made.
Okay.
And the thing is that because there is no Soren inside of the Halo universe, I can then do whatever I want with him to then interact with these other characters. You could have made Soren
understandable because you're using assets from the existing universe, making a story of your own.
Exactly.
This is the problem I have with Halo because
they did have to put it out at 2022. This was their last year. If they didn't put it out by 2022, they would have lost it.
That makes sense.
So then what? Do they not have it in 2023 for season 2?
No,
because now that they used it,
Yeah.
the rights renewed.
the renewed because that was the contract. That was the copyright contract. Is they didn't put anything out by 2022.
That is still not a good excuse
It's
as
like
to
fantastic.
why.
No,
this
it
show-
isn't. It isn't.
Yeah, it isn't. So I get it.
Yeah.
Like, if there's gonna be some white knight out there that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna defend this series and be like, oh well, they had to do something about it. This show has been in production since like 2016.
Yeah.
Or like earlier than
But
that.
it's been in production hell.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, but then what? Like, what about it? Because you're supposed
It was,
to.
but
Because
again, but again, we had a lot of people that they for some reason gave it to knew nothing about.
They
the
don't
service.
want to
Yeah.
do anything with the actual franchise. They were given the opportunity to go play the games, to do some research.
They had
right?
all the time.
They had
Yeah.
even if they say, "Oh well, we just got hired on,
Yeah.
so we don't know anything about it. We
Yeah.
couldn't do anything about it." Your job is to study your source material, to produce something about, to do something about that.
They had the budget to put the main actor through boot camp, but that was it. He only did like a month or a week of
He did
boot
like
camp.
weeks worth of it,
Yeah,
not
and
even
that
I
was
think a
it.
full month at 343, who isn't even the original
Yeah.
studio that worked on Halo.
Yeah, but Bungie's not going to do it.
They're not going to do it because they probably don't even have the assets for it. They all got taken by
Yeah.
Microsoft, which is understandable. But
And then given to
even
343,
still, but
which makes
even
sense.
still, if 343 is in charge of those assets, they should be the ones responsible, especially since they are now holding accountability for this franchise.
does
They
it-
should be preparing the material and saying this is the Bible.
There should have been a
what
Bible.
what game did Bungie leave at? What was their last Halo game? Three?
No, Reach.
Was it Reach?
Was
Okay.
it Reach?
Did they
Was Reach?
have?
I thought the Reach was the beginning of 343.
Wasn't it 4?
Was it 4?
Can you look it up?
Oh my god!
That's why you're in front of the computer.
No, because I know they did do ODST.
They did do ODST.
Bungie did ODST.
3, 4.
Maybe they did do Reach.
I think Bungie's last one was Reach because
Was it
4 was
Reach?
the Kickstarter, yeah. But I also might be wrong. I'm not that confident here in this one.
The last Halo, so Bungie, yeah, the last Halo title was Halo Reach. 343 Industries was eventually given complete control of Halo franchise and servers and data on March 31st, 2012.
Okay,
so that
so-
was the start of like Halo Wars and Halo.
Yeah, that's when you started.
So
getting
Halo
those,
Reach,
like,
yeah.
side scrollers.
So
Yeah.
Halo Reach was Bungie's last game.
Yeah.
But and also, it's one of their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So, do they technically have the rights to use Bungie's stories?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Argu-
it goes to Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Arguably, I would say that Reach is the last good Halo game.
No one's going to argue there.
Because Halo Reach is the fall of Reach. 4 or 5 and even Infinite, terrible. Like, they're not great games. Like, they're just not.
They're okay. I think they're good. Like, if you want to continue the story from that point on, because 4, I played it. It was enjoyable. I was just like, okay, cool. It's a different take of Halo, because I've tried playing, like, the first one and the third one. I didn't play 2. I played some of Reach. But, like, there's certain mechanics, like lifestyle mechanics in Halo 4 that were like, okay, this is good improvement to get Halo into the next generation. Point being is this. Rene asked, right? Do they have assets... Or excuse me, do they have access to those assets, right? That, parts that Bungie has worked in.
Okay.
Yes. That also means that 343 Studios should be responsible enough with those assets and create a Bible to hand out to different productions
Yeah,
if they want
because
to work on it.
it's the same thing as like when you make a Batman movie. When Matt Reeves first got the Batman movie, it wasn't like they were just like, all right, well, you do whatever you want, like you do whatever information. They were just they went, no, this is the Bat Bible. This is all the stuff that you have to. Like, this is the lore that you have to stick to.
This is his character. This is kind of his character, his personality, his
This is
backstory.
This is everything that you can't change.
Exactly.
And this is all the research that you need.
No, we cannot have only the dad die and the
Yes.
mom stay alive. It's just
This
certain
is-
things.
There are certain things that you have to do in a Batman story.
Okay, but counter argument, someone's going to argue this, right? They didn't do that with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They changed pretty much his entire backstory for his character development.
I feel like that's different though, because for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, it was not only fit into the MCU, so that way they can then hook it into the MCU, but also it was given enough leeway where it then had enough source material where you can argue.
The foundation still exists in Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
The pillars are still there, but the roads to get to them
We're different.
We're slightly different.
Yeah, and
that's fine.
That's the thing that I'm not seeing with this Halo series is that it doesn't follow a Bible.
No.
And so that's my problem with this entire production is that why is it that when we're looking into it, right? When we're looking at the different interviews and, you know, the different things that these producers or writers are talking about, why is it that they have almost no care for this franchise?
Yeah.
The way they talk about it, it's like, yeah, we never really needed to play the video games. We just kind of went on with whatever we had. Okay.
Did you?
Are you special or something?
Did you see somebody had clipped? They changed the sound effects for some of the guns.
What did they put?
So what was it like in the very first episode when she's aiming down the actual sniper rifle? It actually has the zooming sounds where it's like, zoom, zoom, and then like when she like unscopes, it then does it again, and it has like they basically just took from the game the audio clip and they put it in.
So they didn't even reformat it, because this brings into question, right? Mm-hmm. And I said this, right? When we're watching it, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Mm-hmm. It's so great to see that production work really hard to bring assets from the original series into like the new era. Right? They're using the same assets when it comes to warping. They're using the same sound effects when it comes to the communicators.
Ironically,
all those things.
Same production, because it's Paramount.
So then why is Halo having such a hard time? The way I see it, this production team that's working behind Halo could give 2 Fs about anything that has to do with Halo.
Because Halo is a contractual project, whereas Star Trek is a passion project.
That could be argued, yeah.
That is 100% of, especially with, we need to get a show out so that way we can keep our rights. Because if not, all the work and all the money that we put into, down the tubes. And we could literally, that's kind of what it is. Where it's like, let's just get season 1 out. We'll have the contract for it again. Even if we have to reboot the series after it's terrible, we at least have the contract. Because if not, then everything that we put into it, gone. It's all at waste. So, but the thing is that, can you make a good video game TV show?
Yes. Because, oh my God, there was one that I was watching. It was really good. Crap. Hold up.
What was it about?
Oh no, why am I forgetting? There was one that I was watching.
What was it on?
Keep going. Do you guys have one?
So anyway, cause like Rene, you showed us the trailer for Resident Evil.
Yes.
So for Resident Evil, that trailer looked really good. It looked really, really good. I liked that trailer, and the main reason why I liked that trailer is because I didn't know any of the characters. And
no, yeah, it's more of like, we're not doing the exact video game. We're just taking aspects from the lore of the video game.
But the thing is that I love the idea of, it's a city I've never been to.
Yeah.
Then we also went to London 20 years into the future, or like 6 years into the future.
2036 is what the trailer said.
Yeah. So it was like 16 years in the future, 14, whatever, math is hard. So then after that, you then have these random characters which aren't our main, they're not our main people or anything like that. We have maybe Wesker's daughter. That's about it. But we don't really know a whole lot about her, so it's fine.
Before I forget, I just thought about it. Great video games that have translated into TV shows: The Witcher, and Sonic.
But that, so The
Sonic
Witcher
is a movie.
Yeah, okay. But here's the thing though. Sonic went uber towards the game. They went like, okay, how exactly do we translate the video game properly? And they did a great job about it.
Yes.
I would say that The Witcher is more in the genre of not necessarily a video game. It's more of translating the book.
It is, yeah.
Into a TV show.
Well,
because they're
the
not
video
using,
game went from a book to a video game.
But the thing is that the video game had its own creative liberties. That's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing, is that if we're going to go based off of that, right? We talked about in Halo that the foundation matters. Your foundation of the franchise is what could set you up for success here.
Right.
When it comes to The Witcher, the way I see it is that they respected the foundation enough to borrow those assets and understand where they came from. Sonic is the same way. Sonic technically does not have an origin story. It doesn't have something to necessarily follow. But what it does have is that Sonic charm.
So, sorry, in the Resident Evil trailer, the main guy that we saw, the scientist, that's actually Wesker.
That's Albert Wesker?
That's Albert Wesker.
Hell yeah.
So it's a different interpretation.
It's a different. It's a way different interpretation.
Lance Reddick is going to be Albert Wesker, dude. Yes.
Yeah, he's actually a really good actor.
So did you?
You know who that is, right?
Remind me.
John Wick, the
guy
behind
the desk.
The guy that's always behind the desk.
Oh, dope.
Him as Albert Wesker? Hell
yes, I can see that.
Yeah. So it's following him, and then I guess his daughters and stuff like that.
So
or it could be they might be adopted. Like, I don't know, because he seems like a scientist that has secrets. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So watching that trailer, I don't feel like they're gonna do a bad job here.
No, why? Because they're gonna take their time telling a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what I feel about this new Resident Evil show that's going to be on Netflix, I'm hoping that this is what they do, is that they borrow they use the foundation of what makes Resident Evil, and then just tell a completely different story and just Easter egg maybe some assets here and there.
In all fairness, all you need to do is just have on a TV saying, after the bombing at Raccoon City, or after the nuclear disaster at Raccoon City, yada, yada, yada happened. Or there was a lab that was found in Antarctica or whatever.
So
you can literally do 100,000 Easter eggs where it just kind of like pokes at the video game. But these are all new characters, and these are all new places that we've never been
Yeah,
in
exactly.
these worlds. And that allows me to write my story. Because now I can then say, okay, cool.
You're not tied down to the story that already existed.
There's no strings that are tying me down. I can then write, oh, well, what about if Wesker did this? Or what about if we make this, Wesker left STARS program years ago, and now he's doing X, Y, and Z, or anything else. There's 100 different things you can do.
There is. And what is interesting about this is I feel like what has been missing from the Resident Evil franchise when it comes to other formats or the medias is that they don't mention that Umbrella Corp was a pharmaceutical company. They don't spend a lot of time there. They just say like, oh, it is a pharmaceutical company. They distributed, drugs and all these different things. What are you showing?
Oh, it's a picture of a liquor.
Oh, that's
The
looks
liquor looks
good
better than the movie version
because
Honestly,
it looks like they understood what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
That
in
looks-
the second
that actually
trailer,
looks practical.
So the trailer that you showed him, Rene, was the second trailer that came out today, right? Or both? They came out with two trailers today.
Yeah.
So in that trailer, they say, oh, it's this medication that we're distributing is supposed to help out with ADHD, and it's supposed to help you out with like some mental issues and stuff like that, but it contains the T virus. Bingo. That's how you do it, because that is how they distribute. Because technically speaking, Umbrella Corp was working on biochemical weapons.
So I saw the synopsis for episode 1 right here. It says, when Wesker's kids move to the new Raccoon City, the secrets they uncover might just be the end of everything. So this is after the initial outbreak in Raccoon City. So basically they're showing us what's Umbrella doing after they evacuated and had the outbreak in Raccoon City.
And then they blew it up.
And
then
up.
they restarted it
and
again.
this is like
because
basically
Raccoon City,
after,
Umbrella Corp still technically has some credibility to it.
Yes.
Well, because they said that it was it wasn't Umbrella Corp. It was a nuclear facility that was that was in the city.
Exactly.
That it overloaded and then it killed everybody.
So that's what I'm really excited to see about what they're going to be doing with this Resident Evil franchise series, whatever you want to call it. You saw both of you guys saw the movie that came out, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
That movie's bad.
So what was wrong with that one?
So what happened? So basically that one, they tried their hardest to
Connect it. To
we're gonna take Resident Evil, and we're gonna take that was Credit Card Machine. That was Resident Evil. We're gonna take Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, and maybe Code Veronica, and kind of just like
Mush it together.
and then we're gonna have these stories parallel with one another and stuff. Which is, you would think, in a time spending aspect, if you put that in maybe like a 2-hour and like 10-minute movie, you could accomplish that.
I feel that it was a mixture of they had too much story to tell in an hour-and-a-half movie, mixed in with not enough budget.
Yes.
For certain things, like the mansion, like when they first walk into the mansion, looks sick.
No, it's beautiful. I was
It's
looking at it, I was like,
beautiful.
this is really cool.
Look, you can look up that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, it looks amazing. Like when the first time I saw it, I was like, that is straight out of the video game. That is awesome.
Did
The
they
only-
do the first
The only problem is that when you're already introducing the first one, why go into Raccoon City? Like that whole Raccoon City arc, you don't need it.
Is in 2.
So look,
It's in 2. You don't need it.
it looks really good. This is them entering the mansion and stuff. So this is Chris Redfield, this is Jill, and this is Wesker.
And I was really happy that Robbie Amell got it.
Yeah, Robbie Amell really got it as Chris Redfield, and you know what? He sold me on a Wesker, not right away, but when
I liked it.
But when he got the message, he did change demeanors, and I was like,
I really liked. Honestly, I really liked their acting. I liked everything else.
Robbie Amell played
Chris Redfield.
Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
And you know what? Looking
Does
at
it
it,
have the
this
staircase?
did they have the scene where
So this is supposed to be Claire,
And
and that's supposed to be Leon.
So did they have the scene where Jill runs into the first zombie? The first time you run into a zombie, he's eating a corpse. Did they
Yes.
do that scene?
Not with Jill, but they did that with Chris Redfield's character.
Was it Jill or Chris that sees it for the first time?
I think
No,
it
it was Jill. No, it was Jill.
Jill, right?
Well, no, Jill doesn't see a zombie right away.
No, it's
Chris
when you
that
open
first
one.
did it.
Oh,
You're right. You're
In
right.
the video
right.
games, right?
In the video game,
In the video
Chris
games,
finds it.
yeah.
Yeah, Chris finds and it looks almost identical to the video game. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of shots in there that it's like identical to the to the video game.
They don't have any more pictures.
And that's really.
But-
just look up images on. Don't go to IMDb. Just go straight to the images on Google. But what I'm saying is that they did a really good job on getting on. They got a lot of really cool scenes. The problem is that you can't make a movie with cool scenes.
no, because
it
it's
has
just
to flow.
it's an Easter egg basket.
Yeah. It's just, I'm going to put as many Easter eggs inside of one basket and then hopefully the movie does well. The problem was that not only that, but also Leon, I feel like either the actor or the director did not understand that character. They were like, they watched a couple of
If
YouTube
you're borrowing
videos.
from Resident Evil 2, you understand that. I want to say that if you're trying to describe Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2, he's a rookie cop barely going into Raccoon City. And
He doesn't
if you
know how
go
to
off of that,
he doesn't know how to cock a shotgun.
No, and that's a problem because he has to grow into that Resident Evil 4
No,
Leon
but,
Kennedy who
but
works
the
for...
thing is, though, is that they made him really
Kind of
of
an
a
idiot.
ditz. They made him really ditzy.
That's why, because he's a rookie cop, but it's still not an excuse why they would make
no,
him
but
super
they
bad.
but they made him have a background where it's like he would think that he would know how to handle himself in a situation. The thing is, when he does meet with either a zombie or someone of the undead, he shuts down.
So he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do at all. He has a gun.
Which
he
doesn't-
he freezes and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, what the heck? And then
But-
Chris,
and
or
then
Claire.
Claire has to say
Claire has to constantly say, which I don't. I mean,
That's fine.
Claire's a very cool character. That they got right. That she's a very strong
So
character and
do they-
handles her own. and
Do they
stuff.
kill any of the main characters? Claire, Chris, Leon.
Wesker.
Wesker?
But
Obviously, there's an after credit
Claire,
scene.
which are Claire and Claire, Chris, and everybody else, they all survive.
Yeah, all the main characters.
All the main characters
Yeah.
survive,
Which
and
they
it
sh-
should. And it should. And
Oh,
it,
and then
it's-
Neil McDowell was in it as well too. He played the scientist villain, the guy. That
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
so what's
Yeah.
when it comes to Easter eggs, right? What I enjoy about a video game going into a movie,
Can you type in what was it Welcome to Raccoon City stairs, like mansion stairs?
a video game translated to a movie or TV show,
I'll put
when it has Easter eggs, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Nick, but if you input Easter eggs into that,
Oh, here we go.
format of media, if you work hard for them, are they more enjoyable than when they're just flat out there in your face?
I feel that Easter eggs are a lot. I like them a lot more when they're just like sprinkled. When
you have to work for them.
I have to work for them. I have to kind of look for them.
So,
I have to
because
search
Sonic
for
2
them.
does that a lot.
So,
Yeah,
this
I've
is
seen
the
that one.
same-
It's very much like
It's very reminiscent of it. It looks like it, but that's what I'm saying. They did a really good job here.
Yeah.
But the problem is that this is its own. This right here is its own movie.
Yeah.
You can do your entire movie on just
The mansion? Yeah.
And honestly, that's a dope movie. That's a really dope movie of a horror film that's in a mansion filled with zombies. You don't know where they are, and then once you get to the bottom of it, you then find a secret biolab. That's cool. That's a really interesting concept of a movie.
do you
But
feel
for
like
some reason, we can't get it right.
well, what about video games makes it difficult to translate to other medias?
I don't know what it is about Hollywood and not being able to do it because it seems like
But
we
Sonic
can.
did it.
No, but I mean, Sonic, you could essentially.
Sonic is very much a shooting star. It is such a thing that, think about it. Assassin's Creed couldn't do it. Halo can't do it.
Uncharted was fun.
Well, the
Uncharted was fun,
Yeah.
but there was still a couple of gripes
it
to
still missed a lot of points.
It
That's
missed
the
a couple
thing.
of points, and that also is because of rights. That's also
yeah.
because that movie was also in production hell for a while. The reason why you get Mark Wahlberg as Sully is because he was contractually obligated to be in the movie as a main character.
He originally was supposed to be Nathan Drake.
And then he aged out of the role, so then they gave him Sully. That's the only reason you have.
They were supposed
Mark
to do
Wahlberg.
this movie like what
2012, 2015.
that was originally supposed to be when before the fourth game came out. They were supposed to do a movie, and they never did it.
And that's why you had Mark Wahlberg, is because of his contractually, he was already contractual to be one of the main leads.
So they just gave him something else.
So they gave him something else.
They gave him the old man
Yeah,
role.
and they gave him the old man role because that's what he had aged into. But I mean, he looks too good to be the old man.
That's true.
I mean, that's just
Until
Justin.
he got
Timberlake
the
all over.
mustache.
Well, that's the thing. He's not really playing Sully. He's playing his version of Sully.
Yeah.
Where it's
But-
very Mark Wahlberg-y.
But that's the thing I'm saying though, is that there are so many times that they miss the mark. Doom
Oh, yeah.
Doom is weird.
is so weird. But the problem, okay, but here's the problem.
Doom, I
with
don't think
these-
can be translated to a franchise or a movie or a film because
Mm-hmm.
Doom, in order for you to understand the story, you have to read the codex.
True, but here's my thing though. So you have two ways of so there are three ways you can make a good you can make a movie. If you go too far, because what happens is that if you go way too far into the actual, like, I'm gonna try and make a shot for shot, it gets really weird. No one likes it, and it gets real hokey. Whereas if you try to use absolutely nothing, no assets from it, then people hate it because it's not what I'm used to. It's not the game that I want. It's not like the game. It's not anything else, and it's terrible because they had a solid story and now they don't have a solid story because they had to write around the good story that was already written. I had to tear apart this really good story and then slid it into these terrible story. Or you do what Sonic did. Sonic had a solid story and then went, I'm going to grab from over here, but I'm also going to grab from over here. And I'm going to pull them both together and I can make a solid, but I have to make a solid story with a solid cast behind it. Mm-hmm. A lot of these movies just go, I'm going to go ahead and make my own story. And that's kind of the hard part where, and then they just like beat you over the head with these Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. Like in Sonic, there's not a lot of Easter eggs.
There's a lot of them if you really pay close attention to it. Like one of them that was really off. I think it's a reach, but it's a very interesting thing to notice. One of the helicopters said SA2, which is Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes.
And so that was kind of
That's fine.
But
and
see,
they
here's
had,
have that.
And then they had Eggman's original costume.
Exactly. The GUN, which
Yeah.
is Gun, which is the the military branch that's going after Sonic.
But that's the thing though, is that you have all these things, and now all you need to do is put a movie around it. But you need to make a solid movie. The movie still needs to make sense. And the problem is that for these things, they went like Return to Raccoon City. They went, cool. We're gonna get the mansion. We're also going to get Raccoon City, and then we're also going to get a little bit of Code Veronica, and then we'll get like a little bit of Zero.
There's too many stories.
There's
too much
way too many.
aspects.
But the thing is that we're not going to tell the full story. We're just going to get snippets of all these stories. So you're not really telling a full story. You're telling you're telling a fourth of a story, and you're not getting any closure by the end of it. And then by the time that you finish this movie, you're going, what the heck did I even watch?
So we do have to wrap up this show pretty soon, but I will say this: for at least in my head, there's two more franchises that are going to be coming out within the next 2 to 3 years, which is Fallout. That's going to be worked on by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy from Westworld, right?
I think that could be really good.
That could be really good because there's a lot of source material that they can work around on. They've already somewhat teased. Did the camera die?
No.
Oh my God! Right at the end of the show. Yeah. All right, so we'll be right back and we'll wrap it up in just a bit. We're back. All right, so going back to the same point. Jonathan Nolan, Lisa Joy working on Fallout. They've already somewhat teased that what they're going to be doing with that storyline is they're going to be following a wander, basically Fallout 4, going through the wasteland and kind of going on his own adventure. But there's so many things around the Fallout universe that they could work with. They can work with like California and the new California Republic. If they're in Vegas, they can work about Caesar's Legion and the new California Republic, like interference with it.
But that's the benefit of Fallout is that I don't have a main character that I'm super attached to.
Exactly, because it could be any story.
And I can make whatever story I really want. In all fairness, if I was them, I would go to Texas or something.
Texas, Portland,
or Georgia, or like Atlanta,
Washington,
or something like that. And what I would do is I would do a place that we've never touched before, and then make a whole new storyline about it, and just put it in the Fallout universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm not bound by anything. I have nothing. I have what. What are you really going to tie me to?
Texas would be interesting because there is, it's always going to be in the U.S.
Yes.
That's pretty much where all the stories have been taking place, right? It'd be interesting for it to be in Texas because then we would see the relationship between the U.S. and Mexico after Fallout happened. Interesting point.
That would be.
There was another point. There was another one, but I just thought of another one. Netflix has two because I think Netflix is working on a BioShock one.
Yes.
And they're also working on a Mass Effect one.
Is BioShock still or is what was the last BioShock game?
BioShock
Infinite.
And that was it. That was a while ago.
That was
It's
a
like
while.
but also Bioshock Infinite took like 5 years to make.
Bioshock Infinite is really good.
Yeah, it took, but there was a long period between 1, 2, and then
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it was a really long period.
So I'm somewhat not super hopeful like Fallout with Bioshock, because you could technically, maybe if you want to tell the story of Rapture, or if you want to go into Columbia, either or, that's perfectly fine. Or you can tell a prequel story, of how they created Rapture. I think it's Andrew Ryan, right? Yeah, how he created Rapture. So there's a little bit of like leeway with that one, but the one that I'm very critical on is Mass Effect. Because if they do make a TV show or a series for Mass Effect, that one's super heavy.
That has a lot of lore.
That has a lot of lore.
Yeah.
And not just a lot of lore, but I mean, what are you going to do? Because comic books are already talking about, the stuff before First Contact, when it comes with like, when the humans are
That's
basically
not a problem, but that's not a problem though.
the
honestly,
Human-Taurian War. We've already seen that in the comic books and the books as well.
But what I would do is I would do either First Contact or you can do the Protheans.
There you go. But again,
You can also do the fall of the Protheans. You can do that, but that's going to be a lot of CGI.
Yep.
And a lot of makeup.
So
But I really don't want. The problem is with that, I don't want a Shepard. I'm okay with Shepard being in the world, but for Mass Effect, I do not want.
you don't want the Normandy. You
I
don't want
do-
the Shepherd.
But what
you
I
don't
do
want Joker.
No. I want them in the world. I just don't want them to be main characters.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think that it's okay if they're in the world. Like, I would love if whatever character they're following in the Mass Effect world bumps into members of the Normandy crew
Or a character in a colony who gets attacked by the Reapers.
or the Collectors.
That too.
You're a survivor of the Collectors.
I don't know anything you guys are talking about.
Might as well be speaking Chinese, damn.
Might as well. Or
Dude.
just talking about sports.
All right, guys.
Did you see Shepard throw that fly ball?
We're going to go ahead and wrap up issue 98. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us on this issue. Once again, issue 99 will be releasing the week after this one comes out, and it's going to be the last issue of year 1 before we do an annual and then kick off our year 2 with issue 100.
No, just year one's wrapping up. Oh, wait, year two's already wrapping up.
I'm sorry to
right
bore
in the
you.
mic. Yawn right in the mic.
I'm just like,
We're getting tired. We're getting to that point. But thank you guys for joining us. Once again, go check out keepingitwiththenerds.com for all the up-to-date information on when things are coming out. 2 new articles are up there. Adam did write an article for Moon Knight and his thoughts on it. And Hayden actually released an article as well about Hatchling. I think Hatching? Yeah, that it's another horror movie. So that'll be posted up by the time this podcast does come out. Go check them out. Go leave a comment. Let them know what you guys think about those reviews. Anything else I'm missing? Ring the bell, subscribe. If you're listening to us on any audio platform, go check out our YouTube. Keeping Up with the Nerds, and hit that subscribe button. Get us to 115 before year 2 ends, or before year 1 ends, excuse me. And ring that notification button, guys. Audio platforms, go check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. Leave us a review. Let us know what you guys think on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, now that it allows ratings. Go ahead. If you like the show, rate us 5 stars. Otherwise, okay.
all right. I guess that's it.
That's it. All right, guys. Are we ready to wrap this up?
Yes.
Let's do it. I've been having to use the restroom, so I'm going to do this quick.
Same.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue number 98. My name is Bryan.
Rene.
Nick.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. We wanted to thank everyone for listening to this issue and hope to see you all next time.